Welcome to the Avram Davidson Universe Podcast. I'm Bob from Wheel of Genre, and this is
Virgil from Literally Books.
probably pointing the wrong direction, Virgil.
Whichever way we're going to point. It's just, whatever we do.
Way we're going to point. This guy.
They could stack us in the video. We would just...
We would never know.
It will never know.
We're like a Korean letter. Just put us wherever you want to put us. Now,
is it Virgil to the power of Bob or Bob to the power of Virgil?
That's right. We're reading so a lot of the Eszterhazy stories, and so even though Occult Detective Month is over, I still want to read some of these stories. And Virgil, we're reading now, let's see if I can remember the title, Milord Sir Smiht, the English Wizard. And I want to say right off the bat, Virgil, I think this is my favorite Avram Davidson story. And it's definitely my favorite, I think, Eszterhazy story. I've read it twice now. First time I was like, I get it. Second time, like, oh my God, this is one of the funniest things I've ever read. I think it's so funny. If you like the occult, if you're interested in the occult, if you like Algernon Blackwood, if you're interested in the occult detective, I cannot believe that this is not one of the canon stories of occult detective. It's so good.
I agree. It's so much fun. It really does. And and of course, like always, like a lot of Avram stuff, it really rewards like a more careful read. So I reread it also, and really loved going back and thinking like, why did this happen? Like a really good example, like something I thought was unusual was when I first read at some point, Sir Smiht starts talking and he has more of he had I would say like a lower educated accent, or it seemed like that. Like that was strange. Like he was talking more elevated. Now all of a sudden he's talking low, and I realized, they switched from French to English, and that's our signal.
Oh,
and I was like, I realized reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's just, he never says it. He just says, what switch? He's like, let's switch to English because I'd rather you struggle at speaking than I do, or something like that. And he starts talking this way. I'm like, that's interesting. He's like, now he's talking so like not elevated anymore. And I was like, they were speaking French. Now they're speaking English. It was so fun.
Perceptive.
Like, wasn't that so cool? And it's like to know to do that, to know that, and then to pull it off and just to leave it like right there, just smooth everything, all the edges off, and like maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't.
Maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't. Just like the misdirection in the Saint Satan story.
Yeah.
You know what's so interesting too is I think Avram is always able to do this. He's always trying to do this, and he pulls it off every time. And it's very hard, I think. He has an interesting thing like that, where one theme or one idea going on is like translation or having to switch back and forth between languages. And it's not just arbitrary, because it seems very essential to like this long-running joke about, what is it, Nostvani? Or how do you say it? Oh, Novotny. Sorry, Novotny. So there's this whole long telephone game. We'll summarize the story in a second, but there's this whole long telephone game between all of these secret agents and government officials looking for just a one-off phrase, and they're trying to listen to this conversation with Dr. Eszterhazy and then this English magician. And they're listening in. They're like, okay, we know we need to find a Novotny. And then they say, call our guys in London, call our guys in Prague. And then it gets sent from the guys in London. And then it gets further and further. It's like a long telephone game where it just gets more and more absurd, and they get more and more committed to this idea.
Yes, it's great. I love that. It was like, I love it. It's like just total misunderstanding of what they're hearing. Like not even like that's not even close like to what the message was. It was great. It was like something out of like the Pink Panther or something like that. Like one of those like comedies, like spy movies or something. It kind of felt like that.
It does feel like that, and it also feels relevant to occult detectives. Like, there's this game of telephone, there's these switching between languages, there's these issues, there's so many different languages or language speakers in this too. So there's someone who speaks Russian, there's someone who speaks French, but they're all trying to commit, to an English conversation. But then there's also like these elements of the occult and magic and alchemy, and there's this kind of emphasis of what you say and how important what you say is, as if it can be turned into a kind of magic, like using a magic spell. That's not exactly a focus in here, but putting an intention behind your alchemy and then producing something with it is a definite major intention. Virgil, I think we should start talking about what happens in the story. See if we can even figure out what happens in the story. We'll do our best.
What's great about this story is that, like, if you somebody said, well, what is the story about? It's like, oh, it's like he's solving the mystery of this person who disappeared like 30 years ago.
Yes.
But it's like, that's like this much of the story.
It's nuts. So similarly, when we've read other stories where, there's the mermaid, there's the woman who lives with the bear, there's all of these different things that are semi-occult, and now we're definitely like some things, maybe it's a sleight of hand somehow in the story, but I don't, it just seems impossible. It has to be the occult for sure here. And I think it's interesting where Eszterhazy, again, is going into do an errand or just help someone, and then finds out all of these strange, runs into someone and finds out this long path that he just must go down, and he just kind of lets things happen. So he goes into this old town. What's the old town called, Virgil? It's called like the Golden...
Oh, I don't remember the name of the town. That's a good point. I don't...
What? It's okay. The Golden... So let's call it the Golden Bird. It's called the Golden something, but it's a very interesting town because there are just weird shops there. And so he talks about a few weird shops. There's this really famous tobacconist. There's like a famous weird old hotel that no one seems to stay in anymore. And it's kind of seedy, but that's where this magician goes. And so they run into each other, the tobacconists. And then they go to the hotel. And the weird obsession that Eszterhazy has is he really wants to see like the shape of this guy's head. So just hanging around.
He wants to do phrenology.
He wants to do phrenology.
Yeah. But you know what? And you know what starts all that? Like the thing that, like the impetus for the action is he sees this guy wears a cloak, and it's lined with brown. And he's like, now if it had been lined with red, whatever, but brown signified an unusual and distinct character, and it piques his interest. And so he's like, I must follow this man around town. That's how it starts. It's like, okay. And he goes into a snuff shop. And then he gets the guy's information from the snuff shop.
One thing about snuff, I gotta. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Virgil.
No, that's okay. And then of course the snuff shop starts a secondary sort of story with like these two brothers who run the snuff shop, and they're like they don't have a descendant, and they need a descendant, and he like quizzes Dr. Eszterhazy, and he's like, oh well, I don't really. He's like, I'll give you the name of somebody. Of course, that also plays out in the story too. And I love. What's great about this is like there's all this information about snuff. Like, I don't know anything about snuff, but it's like, obviously Avram knew something. He knew a decent amount because it doesn't seem like it's like he looked it up like in a dictionary and was like, oh, what's going on with snuff, or an encyclopedia or something. It was like, okay, that's good enough to write this. It's like it feels like he had intimate knowledge of snuff or knew people who did. I love that it's like, oh, that newfangled minty snuff. That's available at the candy shop if you want that sort of thing.
Oh man, so Virgil, you gave me so much good stuff there. One thing about the capes, I just found this quote. I want to talk about snuff. I'm really onto this stuff. But here's the quote from those cloaks that you just mentioned, because it's incredible. He says the two guys, like, yeah, some people have cloaks, but there's only two. And this one with brown is weird. But the other two guys, one is Spectorini, the grand director of the Grand Imperial Opera. The other was von Greichsmann Stahl, the court painter. They both had long black cloaks with red. Normal guys.
Yeah, normal guys.
Normal guys.
These guys, okay.
They're okay. Snuff, Virgil, is great. When Zach and I were in China, we found on Taobao snuff, and there was Christmas tree snuff. So it was winter pine, but it had a Christmas tree on it. I don't understand. Probably because it's tobacco, and it will kill you, and you shouldn't do it. But snuff was absolutely incredible. So snuff is great, but don't do it. Tobacco is not good. Don't do tobacco. Not good.
No tobacco.
Don't do it.
But yeah, it's just so great. Yeah, it's like this is and then of course the guy recognizes Eszterhazy at the snuff shop, and he's like, oh, are you switching from cigars to snuff? Yeah. He's like, look, he's kind of feel like, hey, we got one up on the, all right, we're kind of getting one up on the cigar guys. And then he's like, no. He's like, I'm not.
Dashes those snuff dreams. All the snuff flies into the air. It's all about cigars. Cigars or snuff, don't do it. No tobacco.
That's right. Stay away, kids.
Stay away from
that's
tobacco.
Why you're watching. The kids that are watching this particular podcast.
No tobacco. Virgil, so we got to get into what this magician does. He's a wizard, I guess. He has this whole reason why he's called Smiht. He's traveling through different continental, continental Europe countries. And so he says, a lot of people have a problem saying Smith. So I go by Smiht, and I just, say it's fine.
And there's a whole thing too with like mispronouncing his name.
It's a long thing too. It's like,
yeah, right. It's a long joke.
It's a long joke. It's very good. The thing I was so into, because I'd never heard of this before, and I thought it was so interesting. Zach and I, since we've been doing all the weird, we read a long biography about Aleister Crowley. So we've been looking a lot into the occult, and I had to do a syllabus on European occult detective fiction. So we've been reading lots of stuff about the Golden Dawn, about just U.S. made, but lots of Europeans are in it. Theosophy. So we've been reading about that. Now, this was so interesting to me, the Odyllic forces. And they're called Odyllic in here, but they're also mostly, I think, called Odic forces. Now, these are forces related to Odin, but people can harness these forces, and they are considered something akin, at least by, what is his name? Baron Karl von Reichenbach. This is a real guy. And in 1845, he had these ideas of the Odyllic forces. And he considered them something just like a natural phenomenon like gravity or just electromagnetic force, anything like that. But this Odyllic force is kind of hidden in certain, not adepts, but people who are suddenly awakened or just happen to have an ability. It's kind of like telekinesis, and they can do it. And so that's what the magician Smiht is doing. And he has all of these bell jars that he produces almost a seance, and he also like makes a homunculus. He does all of these crazy things with these bell jars. So he has a science of the Odyllic force, which is an esoteric force. And I thought this was just incredible.
Yes, because he doesn't treat it like a seance or like mysticism. He treats it like he's a scientist. Yeah. Right. And the reason that he's traveling is because he's got kind of a bad, I think the wizard tag is a tag he doesn't want.
That's what it was.
Because he made someone disappear at some point.
30 years ago, yeah.
30 years ago, they did like the person disappeared. The clothes dropped to the ground, and all of his clothes down to like his like everything, like all of his clothes are on the ground. The guy's gone, and they're like, "Well, bring him back." And he's like, "He couldn't." He's like, "I can't." He's like, "This isn't a magic trick." And they're like, "You're a charlatan." And so now he's kind of like has this bad reputation. So he's kind of like touring, and I think that's kind of like this bad vibe or this bad reputation he's got that's following him around is kind of why he's traveling. Which is
one
great.
might say he's in a pickle. Right. Did you just murder someone, or are you a charlatan? Both options are bad.
He says like he's like, well, what do they expect? There's risks that happen when you volunteer for a scientific experiment. That's what he says.
And I think sorry, go ahead, Virgil.
No, so Eszterhazy wants to doesn't know this. He sort of learned some of this because he wants to do phrenology. He wants to study his head, and the guy's like, I've paid people to look at my head, but no one's ever paid me to look at my head. I paid someone else to look at me, but they never paid me to look.
It's like that. There's so many turns in this story. Again, there's the telephone of like, we think this is what this means. No, this is what this means. No, this is what this means. The idea of Eszterhazy wanting to study him, people wanting to study him, and then also people thinking he's a charlatan, not believing in what he's doing, and I think expecting him to just be a regular magician, but he's really a wizard. Right. So there's all of these, like, what you call it, like, just surprises or expectations totally turned on their head because something is real when you thought it was fake. Something was fake when you thought it was real. And that happens constantly in this.
Mm-hmm. I like, so like Eszterhazy witnesses at least 2 or 3 instances where someone's coming to him and he's adjusting these, he has them hook up to hold these like wands and this apparatus. And he does a sort of like a seance-y thing, but it's very sciencey with glass tubes and knobs being adjusted and the whole thing. And I absolutely love it. Like, for example, there's a woman who comes and she wants to find out if her dead husband is happy. And he's like, well, there's no such thing as death. He starts this rant about there's no such thing as death. He's like, it's another plane of existence. And it's like a lecture that he starts giving her about like, he's not dead. It's another plane. We're seeking what he has to say from another plane. And he takes a crucifix. It's like an item of his and puts it on the wardrobe or on the, is it not the wardrobe, the buffet, I think, or something, whatever that piece of furniture was, puts it on a piece of furniture. And he's like, oh, we're we'll see. And so he's like doing the twisting the knobs, and he's like calling the guy's voice. He's like, oh, let us know if you're happy. And he's like, if you are, move the cross. And it said like the whole piece of first moves. He goes, you oaf! And he starts yelling at this. He's like, what are you doing?
Pounding on the machine.
He gets so mad. And he's like this stupid ghost. That's great. He's just so angry. And then he's like, it was a complete failure. The woman's like, that was wonderful. And she takes her cross and leaves.
Yeah, because she comes in and it's again like she wants just a regular seance, and he's like, no, I have a machine.
That's
and he has
right.
all of these things, just like you described. And then he thinks she's just going to be a regular, because people bother him all the time with like, can you contact my dead whoever? Can you contact this person? Can you do this? And like, okay, yes. And everyone treats him like he kind of is a charlatan, but they kind of believe at the same time. But then she comes in, and when the connection with the ghost and whatever she's able to do, her connection to Odyllic forces is like mind-boggling. It's like, I've never met anyone like you. This is insane. And so when he calls the ghost, you gothic oaf.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Trying to keep the.
He's like holding the furniture back because it's got all his apparatus on it. It's got all the glass tubes, and he's like, "Oh no, my stuff."
He even tells us like it's extremely fragile, and then the ghost comes in and just is all going to shatter. All of his life's work is going to be broken. But then she's incredible. What is her name? Her name's like Frau Blue. What is it, Frau?
There's two ladies of Israel. I don't remember what their names were. I don't. But what I love was her final statement as she grabs the crucifix. She goes, "Oh, he always was such a strong man."
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was like, and she leaves, and she's so happy, and it was just such a great. It was awesome.
Oh, so good, and yeah, she.
And that wasn't even the only one. There's another one that's really good too. That's one at the end, which is a longer sequence.
Is that who I'm thinking? So I think I've got the two. I think I've conflated the two ladies because the second one comes in. Yeah. There's
another woman at the very end of the story, the last one of these seances,
right?
that happens, and she is like, her husband is like dead and divorced. She divorced him, got the marriage annulled. She hates him. She's looking for her true love, and she wants to find love or something, and so she's coming to Sir Smiht to like find. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what she's expecting, but she wants him to do something with his apparatus to help her find love. And he's like, all right, I guess he just decides to do it. And and she's like, she does have a strong reaction. I think I love it, like the description of one of the needles like pegs and then goes boing and pops off or something like that. And he's like, oh,
my machine. Virgil, you're right.
And I don't want to give it away because it's just the end of it is so good. It's such a good end.
True.
It's such a good end.
Let's not give that away.
It's totally worth it. Like if that sounds entertaining, the ending is just great. It is a great exchange that happens at the end of that, and then of course there's another little small scene that happens at the very, very end. But
that's true. So I usually am like, whatever, spoilers, I don't care. Zach and I would just give spoilers all the time. But not enough people read Avram, and I think not enough people have read this story. So I want to entice people. You have to read this to know what we're talking about because it's hilarious. And Virgil, you're right. I got it mixed up, I think. So the first person, she doesn't have that much of an idyllic force connection. It's the ghost. The second woman, who is called Frau Puprakosh.
Yes, right. And she has this great accent, too.
Oh my God. We listened to the audiobook while reading this, and David Pickering, I think that's the narrator, right? David Pickering,
I think so, yes.
His name. It's just a masterwork. It is incredible. It's so funny. Like the writing is funny, and he is funny reading it. And she comes in, like you said, she wants love, and she says, love. Love is all that matters. Money is of no matter. I have money. Position is of no matter. I expectorate upon the false sham of position. I am a woman of such a nature as to crave, demand, and require only love. Boy, does she get what she wants.
That's right. It's so great. She's such a great character, but still like a person, and I'd love it. It's like it almost feels like a like one of those British like old like romantic comedy plays or something like that. It almost feels like that or something. I don't know. It's great. It's just so good.
It's like the importance of being earnest. She just comes in and brings it all. There's so much good rapport between all the characters. And you're right. She's a real person. She's a real character. And I feel like Avram is really, really good at doing lots of things, but especially that. especially in the story where everyone is extremely larger than life. Like everyone almost steals the story away, but then they're all so powerful in how much control they have over the story that it is like the funniest, wittiest, just not even wittiest, like you're not included in it. It's very fun and you're very much a part of it, included in the fun.
Yeah.
There's another spoiler that I really don't want to give up, but Virgil, I thought it was so damn funny. I don't know
Which
if I
one
should
is
say
this?
it though.
The one at the
It's
very
the
end, or?
No, that one's funny too, but one just absolutely came out of left field and I did not expect it and it just cracked me up. When they have the telephone and they just keep like, they're looking for Novotny because someone just like Sir Smiht makes an aside like searching for this is like searching for they're searching for a Smith in England is like searching for a Novotny in Czech Republic, and then
That's
the
right.
person who's listening, the investigator is like, oh, he's trying to say it's the most common name, right? But the investigator
Right.
goes, oh, I'm looking for Novotny. Thank you very much. And then before he can hear another word, he just goes. And so there's this international, like worldwide search for a Novotny. And it keeps going one after the other. And the best part, I think, is when we go to the actual office. There's like a break in the story, and we go to the London office. And so they start saying, oh, I got to find it. London is talking about who they're looking for, this Novotny. And then it goes into the Prague office. And the Prague office is the thing I don't want to spoil because I thought it was so good. Should we spoil that or just make people read it?
I think
so
you should
funny.
read it. I think you can spoil it if you want, but we could say spoiler. We could say spoiler if you want. Okay, so if you're interested in the story, we'll do that little spoiler. If you want.
Here we go. I got a plan, Virgil. I got a plan.
Okay, he's got a plan.
I'm going to read up to the point until where I think they should read on their own because I don't want to spoil it because it's so surprising. But I'm going to read this part where it's in London. So they go into London and they say, "What can the chaps mean?" They ask each other. All these guys talking to all these agents, and they say, "English Visor, Milord Sir Smiht, or Sri Smiht, makes no sense, So they think Sri is now Indian. So they're going to go and talk to the guys in India and say, okay, is this some other language? And they go into the guys in Prague and they say, but in Prague, they sat down to their files, commencing with Novotny. Abelard ran for pages and pages down to Novotny. Zygmunt, they had lots and lots of time in Prague anyway. It was soothing work, and much more to their tastes than the absolutely baffling case of and then they explain what absolutely baffling case they're talking about. And it's such a good, like, intertextual reference to another story. It's like mind-blowing. So good.
So good. And something else I should say is that reading these stories, especially this story, it just feels like, why isn't this like a thing that the BBC picks up? This feels like this should be a TV show, doesn't it? It feels like this would be an amazing TV show. Like that's what you're reading, like a really, really, really good like BBC like drama with big actors in it. It really feels like that. It's so good.
It's so good. It's like Keeping Up Appearances or something like that, just joke after joke, very quick.
Yeah, it's great. And it's just, and the thing is, it's like all this, like little, like the great part is again, like all this, like knowledge, like he's got to have, like Avram's like displaying his knowledge of like snuff and phrenology and like and these Odyllic forces and all this other stuff. And the writing is keeping you entertained the whole time. And there's this great thing going on with these guys that run the snuff shop and they need descendants and they're trying to find out we don't have any sons. What are we going to do? It's like there's all these little narratives going on the whole time. And it's a short story. It's not a long short story. It's like a normal like short story. So all that work is in this story.
It's like 10 pages.
Never feels rushed.
Pages.
Yeah, never feels rushed. It's perfect.
It's so funny. The moment when they go down to the not having any descendants too is so great because Eszterhazy is there and he's like, I can tell these guys want to ask me a direct question and they're just not asking it. And then he's like, is it something about this? Is it something about this? Is it something about like having a upset stomach? Because he is a doctor of so many different things. Yeah. And then they say, no, it's not that. He said, okay, you better ask me then. Tell me your direct question. And then instead of telling the direct question, they give the whole family history.
That's right. They relate their family history. And finally he's like, I see.
Yes.
He's like, okay.
Oh, so good.
He gives him the name of a doctor friend of his.
Yeah. Can I refer you to my doctor friend? Because I can tell you're having some sort of problem. I want to talk again about Odyllic forces. I did a lot of research, like minor, not a lot. I should say I went on a rabbit hole is what I should really say, Virgil. And I want to learn more about it. And I think it's so interesting that it is brought up Odyllic forces, alchemy, and then a classic alchemical idea of the homunculus, and a classic idea of, someone just going missing and then getting in touch with that astral plane and producing them. But I went on YouTube just to see what I could find on Odyllic forces, and I found this great, it was so interesting.
Your YouTube search algorithm went.
Yeah, just like that little knob.
Yeah, that knob popped off for you. Because I'm like, YouTube's like, oh, you're interested in this? Hold on a second. I've got a file
Odyllic
for you.
forces are popping up. I got a file for you. So it's this group of there's a guy who's narrating it. Then there is the Odyllic force magician, basically, and her name is Megan. So the guy, I never even find out what his name is. He's just narrating this weird TV show. And it's like this 1 minute and 20-second clip is the only thing I could find. And it's called Odic Force, Grounding and Redirecting Force. And so in this video, the guy talks a little bit about it, and he explains a little bit about how the Odic force works, and I'll mention a couple things in just a second, but the video is so strange. So he says, okay, Megan is going to show you how this Odic force is what he calls it works. And so there's Megan. And then there's this guy who's like 7 feet tall, and he's like, and they say, this is the janitor. Like, no, he is not. He's some bodybuilder you hired, but he's this janitor, and he gets the broom. And so the guy who's narrating it says, okay, you go up to Megan, and you are both going to hold this. They hold the broom handle. And so he's going to try and push it, and Megan's going to push back. And so Megan is going to use these Odyllic forces, these Odic forces, and resist his pushing. So this huge guy is pushing, and then in the video, Megan just stands there smiling like this. And he's going, wow, how does she do it? How does she do it? And then he goes,
that's a perfect test.
It's a perfect test. And he says, we also got an Olympian. So they get this American Olympian on who's also like 7 feet tall. And so they say, the two of you are going to push against this broomstick. And so these two guys going, oh, and then Megan's just standing there like this. And she goes, I can tell you're struggling. And then she stands on 1 foot. So she lifts her other foot. It's so good. And then they go, Megan is this, she's probably like 5'2", and there's these two guys who are 7 feet tall. So then the narrator goes, Megan looks like pretty easy to lift up, doesn't she? Yeah, probably. So the 7 foot tall Olympian picks her up. Yeah, easy. She goes, okay, Megan, connect with the Odic force. And so Megan goes, just a minute. And then she goes, okay. Yeah, okay. And then he goes to pick her up, and he goes, and his face turns red, and then he says, I can't do it. I can't do it, you guys. Then the guy says, that's the power of the Odic force. And that's the end of the video. So great.
It's crazy.
So I was researching. It's crazy. It was nuts. And I was researching. So von Reichenbach, he wrote an essay called Researches, and he's a serious scientist. So he actually found a lot of antiseptic, different chemicals, and he made antiseptics. He made this waxy version of paraffin that became more common to use for candles, stuff like that. And so in his essay, Researches on Magnetism, Electricity, Heat, and Light in Their Relations to Vital Forces, he says 3 things. He says a lot, but 3 main things about Odic forces. 1, the Odic force has a positive and negative flux. It's a dark and a light side. Similar to what we were talking about earlier about the opposites. Same, important for alchemy. 2, individuals could forcefully emanate it, particularly from the hands, mouth, and forehead. And 3, the Odic force had many possible applications. And that's something that Sir Smiht is saying constantly. Odic forces, not just Odic force, but Odic forces.
That's right.
So they could be used for many different things, and they could do different things.
Yeah, it's all about he talks about how it's every person has the animal, the vegetable, and the mineral in them, and it's like you're adjusting the animal up and down, or the mineral in or out, or something like that. It was such an interesting way of explaining it that just sounds super weird and esoteric. It's great.
It's super great. And so we just read all of Algernon Blackwood's Dr. Silence. That's that
those
collection.
are great. They're
super great. And do you remember the one, A Victim of Higher Space? It's the last story, and it's the latest story. It's the shortest one too. In it, there's a guy who comes to go see, that doesn't make any sense, who comes to see Dr. Silence, and he goes into Dr. Silence's strange abode. And when Dr. Silence looks in, the guy's not there. It's just like a line. And then when he comes in, the guy is there, and he tells him, look, I'm a victim of higher space. I have been trapped in the astral plane, or he doesn't say astral plane, he says the fourth dimension, and he says the other dimensions. There's higher dimensions even than the fourth. And in that, he tells us that he has been studying how to get there, but they don't really explain how they get there. And he says it's terrifying because you might look at a cup, right? You look at a cup and it looks like you can see the entirety of the cup. You can see the thing in itself. You can at least see the thing. Mm-hmm. And he says, no, the thing in itself is actually existing in that other dimension because it connects its, this is only part of it, I guess. Its manifestation, as far as we can interact with it, is here, but it has like a soul thing that is in a higher dimension. And he demonstrates by drinking a closed flask of whiskey. And he's able to drink through the closed flask of whiskey because he's able to interact with an object beyond its existence in our space, in our dimension that we are familiar with, as one might. Yes, as one might.
Naturally.
Naturally. But in this, we actually get to see what the experiment looks like to get in touch with an astral plane. So, I shouldn't spoil something, but someone has been there for a while in this story, and we get to see how an alchemist using this I've never even heard of this kind of alchemy. We're using bell jars and using all, like you said, all of these different substances inside of a bell jar and connecting them and somehow finding out, like, because you have certain minerals in you have certain vegetables in you are going to connect with that astral plane through this kind of very physical experiment that then allows you to connect with something completely unphysical, non-physical. And it brings, I don't want to spoil too much. It brings a physical thing back to our. I'm not going to spoil anything.
Well, there's a great exchange between Sir Smiht and the Wizard of Brazil. Is it Brazil?
Yes. Oh
that's
God,
right.
yes. That's
where he's
so
like,
good.
"Hey, can you send me some snuff?"
Yeah.
He like calls him. He's like, "Oh shoot!" He's like, I'm getting a call." He's like, "Can you get in the chair and hold the thing?" He has Dr. Eszterhazy like hold the things in the chair while he's doing the knobs. He's like, "Can you answer?" It's great.
It's so great. So like he has all these bell jars, right? And they're all connected. And he has this huge, what looks like this giant gramophone horn, right? So there's like Dr. Eszterhazy, like, what on earth is that gramophone horn from? And it's a call. It's almost like a Luke and Leia call where Obi-Wan Kenobi has that thing. He brings it to Luke and it says, "Obi-Wan Kenobi, your only help." And it's Leia, the projection of Leia on that little projection box. It's like that, except it's an actual, like, physical homunculus that comes out of the gramophone, and it's a representation. It's like it's the phone call, but he's there too. But it's just a mini version of him.
That's right. He's only small, right?
He's small, and they can't communicate. So they communicate in sign, like a universal sign language. But Sir Smiht doesn't really get it. But Eszterhazy does.
Right.
Oh,
he's like,
cool.
Like, what is he saying? He's like, "Oh, can you tell him that we'll send him this?" He goes, "Well, I can't do that." He goes, "Well, I'll take care of it, but just do that. Tell him we'll send him something."
Yeah. Oh, so cool. I thought that was so cool to see like an alchemical experiment in the flesh, in the homunculus flesh. Yeah.
And it's just, it's like, they're just for something so mundane in a sense. And then also just like how they don't really have it figured out. They don't really know quite. It's like every time it's like, "Oh, I'm not really sure." It's like, well, it's like every person's different. And I don't know. I loved how analog, I guess you could say it was.
That's true. Yeah. He's turning not really dials, I guess, but he's adjusting, not even beakers, adjusting these things.
He's making adjustments. I'm not quite certain what he's adjusting either. I don't quite remember what it is he changes.
Valves, because you would be tightening how much of a gas is going through, from this, whatever these things. You put a bell jar in something, it traps the air. You can force the air. I'm making this up, Virgil. I don't know.
Well,
what I'm talking about.
That's kind of what's going on, though. It is. He talks about valves. He says that, unfortunately, you can't adjust the valves in a human body. We just have to take them as they are. He says like it's such a shame or something like that, which is such a strange comment, but it's great.
So cool. I know. Yeah, it's again, these idea of opposites. There's such a wow, I'm being totally amazed here, and then just also, yeah, we're just people doing weird people, and our motivations are weird people motivations.
Right? It's like you think it would be something grandiose, or like, oh, we're really making changes here. It's like, hey, can you send me some of that? We're having a problem with our crop. Can you send me some?
I need some snuff, man. You're my snuff connection.
I'm really missing out right now.
I understand the need for snuff, but don't do it.
Don't do it. Is right.
Don't do it. I think
the end of the story is so fun. It just really is. You know, it's such a reward. So worth listening. Seth will probably put this one up, and it would be totally worth your time. Totally worth it.
I agree. And one thing I want to say too, like, we got to read more Eszterhazy stories, because I think this is my favorite, but each one is just great. Really great.
I know.
And I think
so
much care. And I think one thing we should remind people is, if you read it and you're like, whoa, this is a lot of work, it kind of feels like that at first, where there's a lot going on. But if you can just get into the rhythm of the story, it's very funny. It's not actually above your head. It's just using some new concepts that you get used to quickly. Because it's not like pretentious. It's a real, he's really trying to engage with this stuff, but make it really, really, really fun and accessible at the same time.
Right. A great example is at the very beginning of the story. He talks about this woman makes horse crowns. And then he's like, you don't know what a horse crown is? He's like, have you ever seen a funeral with the ostrich feathers, and it's black for this? And he basically tells you what horse crowns are, explains them, but it's in narrative, and it's great. You know, I didn't know. I was like, what's a horse crown? And then he just goes and tells you, like, now I know. And I know what the different colors mean. and that's just a little bit of an aside. Like, he also, so he knew about horse crowns, and he just threw that right in there. This little paragraph in there about horse crowns, if you wanted to know about those. It's great.
I know cocktail parties don't really exist anymore, but he is maybe we've made this comparison before, but he is the ultimate, like, author to be able to prepare yourself for just weird asides that you would like to make. Not necessarily to impress anybody, just to tell them something great.
Like somebody was like, oh, he's just going to have some fascinating anecdote that you've never heard anything about before. You're like, okay, what else? The life of the party in that sense, right? Just
the life of
he goes like, I'm going over there. I want to talk to that guy. I want to see what he's saying something. I want to hear it.
The man with the beard over there. I know.
That's right.
Makes you feel like, wow, the world is a fascinating place. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Virgil, I think we stop here for now on this one. We got to go back to more Odyllic forces, and soon we got to get to that Crowley story. We read that autobiography. I think that's going to be soon on our list.
Oh yeah. Okay, that sounds cool. That sounds very cool.
Set sail for I can't think of anything except for set sail. Let's
adjust
your
Odyllic force. Odyllic forces. Yeah, that's right. Adjust your knobs. Adjust your tubes. Open the valves. Prepare yourself. I don't know.
Watch out,
Virgil. But not too many. Don't get too open. Wait a minute.
Not too much. Yeah, not too much.
That's right.
Force. You don't want to shut down the whole internet.
Whoa, don't smoke. Slow. Don't put snuff in your nose unless you're old enough and you enjoy the thing.
That Christmas snuff was pretty nice.
But one snuff is enough.
One snuff is enough. That's right. Except for the snuffleupagus. He probably said something.
That's right.
Anyway.
Always.
Until next time, Virgil.
Until next time. See you later.
See ya.